It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise.
Good morning and a happy Friday to you. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning. I'm Philip Simon, TGIF star. I'm going to say the whole thing this morning. Thank God it's Friday. This indeed is the day that the Lord has made. We who remain should rejoice and be glad in it.
Indeed, we shall. Phil, of course, it's a pleasure to have you back with us after our several shows with you being on bereavement leave. Of course, we extended our condolences to you while you were not here. But since that you are back, of course, we want you to know how much we have been thinking of you, praying for you as you and your family have handled the loss of your father.
Thank you so much, Star, and thank you for the hundreds and thousands of persons who would have expressed the same. I appreciate certainly the team, the counselors team, the Bahamas at Sunrise team, everybody who would have called, family, friends. Like I said, it's never easy. Even if you expect the challenge, death is just so final, and then that's it. It's there, and that's it. And if you didn't have a chance to say something or correct something or to express something, that's it. And so this is why, as we live, and maybe this trek towards 50 is changing me just a little bit, soften me up just a little bit. But certainly we have to, while we are alive, we have to live and we have to love.
Yeah, we certainly do. We certainly do. And I would have lost my father 10 years ago this year. I can't believe it's been that long. I still feel like I can just call him, right? And so it is a continuous process, an evolving process. And I tell people that you never stop missing them. The way that you manage that is different as the years go by, but it is always an immeasurable loss. And so again, we're holding you in prayer. And unfortunately this morning, Phil, I also have to offer condolences to the family of Donna Nichols. People might remember Donna Nichols from coming on our show. She is who we would turn to whenever there was any issue related to, domestic violence, any issues related to protecting our children. I remember we would have certain conversations around, things like suicide, conversations around the exploitation of our children. How do we deal with them? And in this new age where people like pedophiles can reach out to them online, anything related to how do we deal with children, women, young people who are engaged in any sort of battle for their mental health and their well-being as a result of crisis, we returned to Donna Nichols. She was the deputy director of the Bahamas Crisis Center for a very long time. And unfortunately, she lost her battle to stomach cancer on Monday. In addition to her being a resident expert with us here at Sunrise, Phil, she was my husband's godmother. And so I knew her personally outside of the show. And she was just an amazing wife and an amazing mother to her husband, Ran, and her children Noel, as well as her son. And it is just a loss for our country and a loss for the world at large. She was so committed to the development of women and children, and she will be severely, severely missed. Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson, of course, and all of us here at Bahamas at Sunrise, we just acknowledge her. We remember her as a 50-year veteran in career education, counseling, and someone who just gave selfless service. You talk about a life well lived, Phil, and she was one that did that to the fullest extent. And so we offer our condolences this morning.
Yeah, no doubt. Rest in peace, like they say, to a fearless warrior, Donna Nichols. And again, we also want to extend our condolences to anybody who would have lost a loved one. I know several that would have happened this week and one just yesterday. So if you've lost a loved one, recent times. We extend our condolences to you, to your families, and just know that, God is still in control. You've heard it 1,000 times. God is still in control and his purpose to fulfill, right? So again, condolences to each and everybody out there that have lost anybody. And then on the flip side of that, Star, happier times. I want to say happy birthday to Jahali Swan. This is Junior, Big G. He's celebrating a birthday today. And also Valdez Bodie, another brother of mine, all the way from Kingsway Academy days. And of course, the star himself, Julian Believe Thompson.
Well, a happy birthday to all of you. Wishing you many more years of good health and happiness. Praying that you would continue to just, walk in the purpose to which God has called you, and that this will be a great day. Obviously, you got that birthday greeting from Phil, so you're already starting off ahead of the game. But also, we've also got a great show lined up for those who are tuned in, whether celebrating a birthday or not. We're looking forward to bringing you this information, education, and entertainment today.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll be talking with Doctors Hospital Health System, and I've been enjoying this for the last year with Doctors Hospital. Today, they're going to be talking about the prevention of blood clots and strokes. Very serious conversation. You don't want to miss that. And we'll hear from the men's beach soccer team. They're getting ready to return to international competition, Star.
Looking forward to hearing from them both. Hubert Edwards will also join us to discuss the way forward for the Bahamian economy. And we're going to take another look at Mobile Assist. They're now launching their Sand Dollar accounts. Had a great conversation with them about a week or two ago. And so this is going to be another part of that. And so looking forward to seeing that happen again. But Phil, before we get to any of it, we cannot do anything without a first look at weather with the G-Man himself, Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Star. Good morning, Bahamas, and welcome back, Phil. We still love you. We do have a weak front boundary just north of Grand Bahama, Central Abaco, and Bimini, moving towards the southeast. But the prefrontal trough ahead of that system is producing some showers and thunderstorms over the Grand Bahama Abaco area and into the Berry Islands at this time. That system should move southeastward and across to Providence later this evening with some showers and possible thunderstorms, mainly along that frontal zone. High pressure builds behind, so expect a breezy weekend in store. For the most part today, variable cloudiness with a few showers, or a possible thunderstorm with the northwest and central Bahamas, partly sunny and very warm across the extreme southeastern islands, high temperature 85. Tonight, mostly cloudy and warm with a few scattered showers or isolated thunderstorms across the northwest and central Bahamas, partly cloudy, warm, and muggy with a few showers over the southeastern islands. You look good under 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And for regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 83 and 78. In Jamaica, 83 and 70. In Trinidad, 84 and 75. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 86 and 72. Across North America, Atlanta, 70 and 48. In Raleigh, 70 and 44. In Miami, 84 and 75. Dallas, Texas, 76 and 55. And Toronto, Canada, 56 and 44. As you go to the week, still expect some clouds to hang around the northwest and central Bahamas, but mostly moving to central southeastern islands. As that front of boundary expected to store in the central Bahamas sometime tomorrow. Expect some showers through Sunday, and then a little break for Monday, but we expect some showers to go back on Wednesday and Thursday, but also some breezy conditions. We can expect some showers, basically in the central southeastern islands. So temperature daytime will be in the mid-80s at daytime and the lower 70s at nighttime. That's what's wrapping the first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Bahamas of Sunrise be back after this short commercial break.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. May is Stroke Awareness Month, and today we want to find out about the risks, symptoms, and prevention of blood clots and strokes. Here to talk with us is no stranger to Bahamas at Sunrise. He actually lets me call him Fred, but he is Dr. Frederick Smith, internal medicine specialist, nephrologist at Doctors Hospital Health System. Good morning, Doc. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, and thank you. It's starting to feel like it's home.
Definitely. Hey, listen, thank you so much for always being available to us, especially over the last year or so, as we've navigated so many challenges related to COVID, et cetera. But today we're talking about blood clots and strokes, which happens more frequently than we admit. I know even just with my passing my father, he had blood clots in his bladder and he ended up passing from a pulmonary embolism. All of these different things I know are related. But when we talk about blood clots, what exactly is happening in the body when the person develops a blood clot and experiences a stroke?
Okay, so hopefully this is going to be your first medical school class that you've ever had. So I'm going to, if you don't mind me starting, and again, condolences with your father, but
Thank you.
the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give a little bit of the science that's involved on it, if that's okay. So, if we talk about blood clots, there's a thing that we call Virchow's triad. Big words, but it's just three real things that help to explain why we have blood clots or how the things that go towards forming them. So Virchow's triad, it talks about three things. It talks about one, a hypercoagulable state, meaning whatever there is, it causes the blood to clot a little easier. Two, it causes strokes or blood clots, usually blood vessel problems. So anything that's going to damage the walls of the vessel. And three, it talks about stasis. So usually you have blood that flows and it continues to flow through vessels. And anything that causes that to slow down is going to be a risk factor for a stroke. Because what we're calling a stroke in this instance, since you said blood clots, is anything that's going to block that blood vessel. So any blood clot that's going to block that blood vessel. And if you wanted to open that thought process up a little bit, sometimes we have strokes that are caused because people bleed. So a little bit of what happens is anything this is the blood vessel, forgive me for pulling up everything that I can find in my house, on my desk right now, but anything that's going to cause a blockage within that blood vessel that is a form because of platelets is then called a stroke or a blood clot, as you would call them.
Okay.
So if we went down that whole concept of Virchow's triad, hypercoagulable state, that's the first thing. So anything that causes the platelets in the blood to become a little more sticky. So there are some genetic things that do it, and there are some environmental things that do it. So if you want to talk about some genetic things that do it, most cancers cause the blood to cause the platelets to dysfunction, to be a little dysfunctional. If you want to look at it as well, things like diabetes, sorry, I would say diabetes, but things like kidney disease can cause it to be a little coagulable. So kidney disease can cause you to bleed. So you could have a stroke that's because of blood. You could have a stroke because of a blood clot. So kidney disease could do that. If you want to talk about anything that causes, we said vessel wall damage. So anything that causes that blood vessel to be damaged, whether it is trauma, i.e., whether it is you get cuts and then the vessels don't form, the platelets form, and that to stop it from bleeding, that can be a nidus for you to have a stroke. In diabetes causes the blood vessels to break apart a little bit. So it becomes like in the eye, because to be a little more friable, the vessel breaks and then the platelets start to stick there, so you can get blood clots because of that. And then if you cause stasis, you know how we like to go in the airplane and cross our legs and sit for more than 4 hours. So things like that will cause, because there's a little indentation on the blood vessel, things like that can cause you to have stasis and cause a blood clot.
So then, two follow-up questions then. Can you have a blood clot and not know it? And what are the symptoms then if you are having a blood clot? Because it seems as though it's a serious thing. Once blood starts slowing down and not moving, you're at a risk factor.
Yes. So reality, there is tons of things that you can do to prevent it. So depending on what the cause is. So if they cause the stasis, then you have to keep those blood vessels going, or you have to keep the blood going. So if it is stasis, it means get up and walk around. If it is that, like when you're sitting with your legs crossing the plane, uncross the legs, do the little exercises that cause the heel to go up and down. So it's this way. And then what happens is the muscles in the back of the leg pump a little bit more, get that blood going. It's not staying stationary. So watch this. You love to do the job that you do, but sitting down doing your job, most of the times you're sitting down. Right. So what we're encouraged to do is get up and keep moving so that we will get the blood moving around the body. Okay. And then in terms of trauma, well, you just got to watch out for the accidents and that sort of thing. Now, is there anything that can tell you that there's a blood clot that is there? Yes. Depending on where it is, you may see some swelling. So we talk about DVTs. We talk about clots in your calves, which we call it deep venous thrombosis. And you can see it becoming a little more swollen. You can see it becoming red. It can become tender. In the case of prostate cancer, just to go close to home, if there are blood clots in the bladder, then sometimes what you do see is the blood clot coming out in the urine, or the urine turning a little red. Yeah. If you're having a stroke, then what you see is different changes in sensation, movement, in bodily functions, even mentation. If you have a blood clot in the lungs, which we call a pulmonary embolus, people may become short of breath. They may have problems breathing. There may be pain. If you have blood clots in the heart, it's then called a heart attack, and you may have chest pain. So one of the things that comes out of that is most places, you see the loss of function or there's some pain.
Okay. So final question, just always running out of time here in Bahamas at Sunrise, but how then can we reduce our risk to clots and even to strokes besides just the movement, or that's just a big part of it, movement and exercise?
So you have to keep going, but you have to control your primary diseases. So most times we have a blood clot, there's something else that has precipitated it. Okay. So you may not be able to, you yourself may not be control the genetic components of it, but the other things like the immobility, you can do something about. In terms of, if you're thinking about heart, you can do something about that because it's called lifestyle changes. It's called healthy meals. It's called exercise. In terms of strokes, it's called control your diabetes. It's called control your blood pressure. So there are some things that we can do, and it goes back to what Dr. Chin would always talk about when we're doing water house, a healthy lifestyle.
Okay, all right, excellent stuff, excellent stuff. Dr. Frederick Smith, you make me want to get up and kind of move right now, but
yeah, just make sure you stay in the focus of the camera because you have to do the people's job.
That's right. Listen, thank you so much. Dr. Fred Smith, internal medicine specialist, nephrologist at Doctors Hospital Health System. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature. And it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you so much for staying with us. The Bahamas men's national beach soccer team will be competing at the 2021 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championships starting next week in Costa Rica. Here to talk with us, we're very happy to welcome Fred Lunn. He's the Secretary General for the Bahamas Football Association, and he's joined today by Gavin Christie, who's a Team Bahamas member and the Vice President of Beach Soccer. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
Morning.
A pleasure to have you both with us today. I'm so excited. I've got a little visitor, so I just want you guys to excuse me 1 second. Mamacita, could you go over for me, please? Thank you. This is what happens when the kiddies wake up earlier than they should for Bahamas at Sunrise. So welcome back to the show, of course, and let's get right into it. What was the journey to CONCACAF like, Gavin?
Well, it's been this year in particular, it's been a long and a challenging one with all COVID and the COVID protocols and countries globally being shut down and not being able to train and restrictions. And so it has been a long haul for the Bahamas, for our team, but finally now, globally, the world is starting to open up slowly. And they're allowing events again, but of course, it's not the new normal. And so finally now we're here where we can actually get to go to an actual tournament to play.
That's exciting to finally be back in a place where at least something can happen, right? It's not what you're used to. There probably won't be as many fans in the stadium, but at least the action can happen. And so for you, Mr. Lunn, what has it been like, I guess, trying to keep this team encouraged, looking out to see what opportunities would exist? Kind of talk to us about just keeping the team together in this space. Yeah,
well, Gavin's right. It's been a challenging, year for the team. We're very grateful to the Ministry of Health and the competent authority to allowing the team to continue training over the past few months. Keeping the guys focused on what their dream is, and that's to get to the Russia World Cup, 2021. I should mention to Gavin, I just saw an email come in and asking us to register our colors for the Russia World Cup. I don't know, maybe they're assuming already won the tournament, Gavin, we're on our way. So there's some encouragement. But, the guys have been motivated. Gavin's been a leader with that squad for many years. So we've had a good coach, got a good squad, had some good training. We were able to get in 1 or 2 games in the US, which helped motivate the team and let them see where they are. And it's going to be a tough, next 10 days for the guys in Costa Rica.
Yeah, let's kind of talk about that then. Who will Team Bahamas be competing against when they get to Costa Rica?
Well, we have Dominican Republic in our group. We have El Salvador, and the other team, Gavin, is Guatemala, I believe, right?
Guatemala, yeah.
Yeah, and they are tough components. We know El Salvador has won CONCACAF on more than one occasion. They've been through the World Cup. It's probably in our group. But I think Gavin would agree that we can't underestimate the other two opponents. Everyone wants to go to a World Cup.
And so is it that you have to win this round, Gavin, in order to get to the World Cup?
Yeah, and so the structure of the tournament is the group stage, where you're guaranteed 3 games, and then the top 2 teams that are from each group will move on to the quarterfinal stage, where at that point it's then knockout. It's either win or go home. And so every game is important. As I said, you can't underestimate any one of the teams. They're all very strong. Everybody has the same goal. They want to win. And so you have to be focused. You got to be ready and take 1 game at a time, win 1 game at a time.
Let's talk about our team then. Who are some of your team members?
So we have actually a very, very, very strong team. We have some new introductions of some new players who would be their first international matches. We have a group of young guys that have come up, and we're excited to see how they perform on the grand stage. Of course, we always have our superstar, Mr. Leslie St. Fleur, who's always one of our key go-to guys, and always a well-respected. He's a very well-respected guy within the beach soccer community globally. So we're looking to see some good stuff from him. And, then we have some very strong keepers. So we have, some new young keepers that have come in and now's, been training for a long time, and now is their time to shine.
All right. Now, Mr. Lunn, we did talk about, the government making some exceptions for these guys to train over the past few weeks. What has that practice actually been looking like? Like, walk me through it, right? I still go into stores and I have to get a temperature check. I have to get a sanitizer on my hands. These guys are playing sometimes a contact sport. So how does this actual training look in terms of you guys following the protocols, but still getting the work done?
Yeah, well, we have two sets of protocols we follow, which is our local government guidelines. We have close practice training. We have to do temperature checking, sanitations. We have social distancing. We have chairs where the players have to sit when they come off the pitch. They must put their mask on when they come off the field as well. We constantly remind them about the possibility of, the virus is still alive and well. So the guys take special precautions for this. When practice is over, they immediately leave these facilities. The FIFA and CONCACAF protocols for our testing, I'll just give you an idea how rigorous the testing is. We have match day, which starts on this coming Monday. So we have match day -8, which we had 2 days ago. We had to do a PCR test for the entire delegation. Then we have match day 5. We must do another PCR test. Then we have match day 3, another PCR test. When we arrive in Costa Rica, we have to take another PCR test. The day after the event, there's another PCR test. So there's constant testing and monitoring, the players and the entire delegation while they're there. And in terms of, from the time we arrive to the airport to the time we arrive to the hotel, we have a protocol manager that travels with the team that ensures, and that's a requirement, that the team must follow the protocol. Mask at the airport, shields in the airport, sanitation all the way through, separation on buses, separation at the hotels, separation of meals. So there's a lot of protocols to follow, and along with Gavin, who's been the sort of the leader of this squad for many years, they all help to make sure that these protocols are enforced. Because last thing we want is one of our players to actually, come down with test, and then they have to be removed from the event, and it changed the whole makeup of the team and our opportunities to advance.
Wow. All right, Gavin. So we do have to go, but any final words? Are you guys ready? Do you have the strategy to do it? I'm not going to tell you to tell me the strategy because they may be watching, and I want to tell the upper hand. So but are you guys ready? And is there any way that we can support you? Can we follow this journey? Let us know.
Yeah, definitely. The team is ready. We're excited to go. We leave tomorrow morning. Our first game is Monday at 11:30 Costa Rica time, which I think they're an hour ahead. It will be broadcast live, I think, on the CONCACAF website and on the Beach Soccer website, and probably on social media as well. So look out for us, support Team Bahamas, and we need everybody to follow and help us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Mr. Lunn, Gavin. All the best, right? Only good things happen when you come to Bahamas at sunrise. This has been a journey in the making, a dream for all of you that I think we've adopted now as a nation, a dream for us to get to Russia. And so we wish you all the best, that it would just go incredibly well for you. Your commitment and dedication has not gone unnoticed, and we trust that all will work out very well. I have a co-host this morning, so excuse that. but thank you all for joining us this morning on Bahamas at sunrise.
Thank you guys so much. Take care.
Okay, thank you for having us. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
You're watching Bahamas at sunrise. We'll be right back.
The Bahamas and the world has been waging the war against COVID-19 for over a year now. In that time, much of our daily life has been irreversibly changed by lockdowns, job losses, and deaths in our families. As facial masking, hand sanitizing, and social distancing have become the new norm, the team at Doctors Hospital applauds the Bahamian public for doing your part to control and contain the spread of the COVID-19 virus. It is time to take the fight a step further. With the COVID-19 vaccine now available, we encourage Bahamians to continue the fight and do your part in getting vaccinated. Please continue to be vigilant, wear a mask, and social distance. For more information on the COVID-19 vaccine, visit www.doctorshosp.com. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Mental health is health too.
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 Mental health
is health too.
Mental health is health too.
Mental health is health too.
Mental health is health too.
Mental health is health too.
Mental health is health too.
Mental health is health too.
Mental health is health too.
Mental health is health too.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point on this fabulous Friday. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
I'm Philip Simon, TGIF to you and to Cairo.
Certainly. It has been more than a year, Phil, that us mothers have been working from home, and I will assure you that it does not get easier. Cairo had to stay home with me for a few days this week and do homeschool, just as you know, the school tried to take precautions. They had an exposure or something to someone that had an exposure. So it really is very serious for them. And Phil, you know, my laptop has been colored, you know, my meetings have been moved. It is just by the grace of God.
It is fun. It is fun.
We can go with that. But it's been a great show so far this morning. Great conversation with Doc. You know, he really broke down that entire process for us. And that was really good.
Yeah, we need to talk with Joe because we need more time on these segments for particular, guests. I mean, there was so much more that I think we needed to get into on the conversation relative to blood clots and strokes and embolisms and all the rest of that stuff. Because when you start linking that to cancer is a problem in our country.
Yeah. And Phil, I'm actually a stroke survivor. I had a small TIA when I was in college. And so there are these different types of strokes that people can have as well. Some of it from external factors, medication, it's an important conversation, but of course it is Stroke Prevention Awareness Month. And so I'm hopeful that we'll get someone else to come back on and we'll be able to ask more questions. And so that's just a note for our producers as we move into the rest of the month. Yeah. In addition to that, though, it was a good cheering on our guys for Beach Soccer. I'm so proud of them, so happy that they get to continue in this journey and really hopeful that they'll be able to pull it off and get to Russia like they want to.
To Russia with love.
Indeed. But we got more to come in the second half of the show, so please stay with us. We're going to be taking another look at our segment with Mobile Assist launching their Sand Dollar accounts. You might remember that we had that conversation a few weeks ago. So if you wanted to catch up on it, see what was discussed, learn more about it, it really is a big deal. This is a big deal. And so you can learn more about that in the second half of the show.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm looking forward always to those guys there at Mobile Assist. And we'll also be talking with Hubert Edwards about the economy. But hey, let's take a second look at our weather at sunrise. I mean, the past couple of weeks have been great, Star. Here's Godfrey.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Phil, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather at sunrise, we do have a frontal boundary just north of Grand Bahama and central Abaco, moving towards the southeast and should move across New Providence, Eleuthera by evening. You can expect some pre-fall activity, some showers and thunderstorms ahead of from a system that moved to Grand Bahama early this morning to move across New Providence, Eleuthera, Andros area sometime by late afternoon. High pressure will build behind that and generate some breezing conditions through the weekend. In your marine forecast, winds today north to northeast of 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 4 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, east to southeast of 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. On Saturday, those winds become northeast at 15 to 20 knots, 4 to 6 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, northeast to east at 15 knots, 2 to 5 feet over the southeastern islands. On Sunday, they continue northeasterly at 15 to 20 knots, 4 to 6 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, northeast to east at 15 knots, 2 to 5 feet over the southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 10:15 this morning. 4:13 this afternoon. High gain tonight at 10:37. Sunset 7:47 this evening. Rises on 6:25. UV index 7. Your water temperature 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase. No moon. Extended look. Some clouds are hanging around with some lingering showers and breezy conditions on Saturday. Mix of sun and cloud and breezy on Sunday and Monday, and then those clouds return. With some showers by Tuesday and Wednesday. Still breezy, and temperature daytime will be in the mid-80s, at nighttime in the lower 70s. That puts you up on your front. Look at weather sunrise. I'm got to go outside. Back to you, Phil.
And then 3, 2.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. You know, we talk all the time about tourism and financial services and the economic structure for the Bahamas, but how exactly is it supposed to work, and what is the way forward for a healthy Bahamian economy? Here to discuss this with us is our resident professional, one of several, but I really like this one, Hubert Edwards. He's the managing consultant of Next Level Solutions. Good morning, Hubert. Good to see you, man. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, Phil. Always, good opportunity to have a discussion around the economy.
Yeah. And, whenever we have like really live libraries in the background, we know we're in for something really special, because I know you've read every single one of those books in the background.
That's all for sure. Part of them, some of them are still unread. We'll get around to them at some point in time.
Yeah. So Hubert, I still feel as though we're on a precipice here as we try to navigate ourselves through some really serious times. The headlines of the past couple of weeks, the blame game is always going to be there. The politics kind of gets in there, but it's a serious situation, having gone through natural disasters. There's Dorian, there's COVID, there's so many different things. There's the management of our leadership that have contributed, not just in the last several years, I must correct that, but many years, and some may say decades. It's been a cumulative, let me watch my words here this morning in Bahamas at sunrise. But let's just say that I think we're still in some precarious position here as relates to the economy of the Bahamas.
I would agree with you in many regards. If you looked at the recent 9-month snapshot that was put out by the government, you would see we're dealing with a deficit of $800 million. I think that by the time we come to the end of the fiscal, we are going to be at 1.2, 1.3 or beyond. I would say maybe even up to 1.5. We would have heard foreshadowing by the governor of the Central Bank of the Bahamas say, well, there's going to be a need for additional borrowing, because really at this point in time, we're still seeing, restrained revenue from tourism especially. But there's some good news in there though, Phil. The good news is that if you look at the analysis coming out of the last quarter of 2020, you would have seen that the trajectory of revenue was on its way down. And right now, based on the numbers which were presented, revenue jumped up to about $556 million compared to just about 300 million in the first quarter of 2021. So there's some good news there. Another area that I think we should focus on, and it's a touch and go situation. But you remember around December, January last year into this year, there was this big shout that the Bahamas would find itself within 1 year headed into a IMF program. The numbers right now does not bear that out. It does not show really that we're on that type of a cliff, though we have some challenges. So yeah, overall, I would say I'm in agreement with you that we are in a very precarious place. We are in a very challenging position. We have a debt stock right now, which is heading to $10 billion. And depending on how you do that analysis, with a GDP of about $11.5 billion, which has been a downgrade by the IMF, we are really tending towards almost 100% debt to GDP. Some persons may argue that one way or another, but you and I know that one of the things which the government doesn't readily include in that calculation is guarantees and contingencies and stuff which are done with state-owned entities. And so we're at a place right now where we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very mindful. We have to be very strategic and deliberate as to how we're going to move into the future.
Well, I tell you what, I take all of that as the glass being half full, as opposed to being empty or half empty. But it still speaks to the fact that now is the time, right? Now is the time. We've always talked about this economic model of our country, and certainly COVID has provided an opportunity for not just our country, but countries around the world, economies around the world, to kind of reset, to refocus, to take another look at what we have done in the past and what we can be doing in the future. I still am of the mindset that we have the best comparative advantage in the entire world of location. And certainly we've been resilient. We're normally the first to get hit, but we're also among the first to kind of snap back into place. And I think there's going to be this pent-up demand. Tourism will always be there. Once people can get out, if we're managing COVID, correctly, that travel is going to come back. That US dollar is going to come back. And I think, if we're, again, positioned to take advantage of it, we'll do well. But the question is, are we positioning ourselves to take advantage of it? And if for some reason we slide back into, we have our eyes on COVID, but if we slide back into, more of these lockdowns, more of these protocols, the shutdown of the economy, it's going to be real interesting heading into, we're into this political new season, Hubert.
It's an interesting point that we're at. We're getting into a couple of seasons. The first one is going to be the budget season. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, is going to be telling from a policy perspective as to where we're going to go. There are going to be some pressures really on this budget season, especially given that we have the tension of the election coming down the road. And so, the question I would ask, Phil, is can we get to the other side without pain? Can we get to the other side by doing the same things we have been doing in the same ways that we've been doing it? And I think the answer to that is an unequivocal no. In order for the Bahamas to be good going forward, there has to be some level of pain. And so the question, though, is when are we going to see that? This budget cycle, I think, may take some of the sting out of that, largely because of the election. But, we cannot see the return of tourism dollars as a strategy. It is not. It is something is the way it is not just simply and only because of COVID. You talk about resilience, and yes, I understand where you're coming from. You're saying that we will go through our time and we will do the struggle and we will do the things necessary to hang around, to live, to not die. But the truth and the fact is that the Bahamas as an economy is not as resilient as we want it to be. When you look at the social sector, when you look at the private sector, when you look at the robustness of the government sector, it is not where it's supposed to be. We have some very serious structural weaknesses that we have recognized in this economy over many, many years, which are still hanging out there. So I would expect that coming out of this budget season, that we're going to see some very serious strategy and policy discussion, which are going to seek to kind of season the facilitative environment so that when we get over on the other side, we will be in a better position.
I tell you what, you have said that the way forward requires honest, urgent, and bipartisan discussion. And, I kind of smile just a little bit on that last word there, bipartisan, especially going into what we're going into. But it's important. I mean, we've operated for a long time on, I like to say kind of half of our potential because, there's this natural element for disagreement, but it's how we handle those disagreements, particularly now, that's just so critical. Hubert, what's next?
Well, what's next is, and you touch on it, right? I think the way forward is a mind shift. It's a mind shift as to how we run a country. A country of 400,000 people cannot afford to lock down 50% of its collective genius each 5-year cycle. And so we have to now start to think of how we can be more collaborative. We have to start to think of how we can bring everyone to the table. We have to start thinking of how we can engage this collective genius. And it is here. We have to engage the local productive sector. We have to find out how we can better leverage foreign direct investment for local development and local wealth creation, not simply just job. The bottom line is that the Bahamas as a economy, as a country, or if you want to think about it as a business, have to make some very important strategic shifts, because COVID has shown us, as a provider, if this was a risk management operation, we would have been given one of the greatest opportunity of a scenario or a simulation analysis to see where the weaknesses are. We see them, we know them, we understand them. Now we need to step out and fix them. And the way we have to do that is that we have to depend on all of us. Only when we get to the point where all of us are working in the same direction towards a common vision will this country move forward. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, yes. Thank you so much, Hubert. I really enjoy working with you, though. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Hubert Edwards, Managing Consultant of Next Level Solutions. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Doctors Hospital is proud to introduce the Loyalty Advantage Membership Program, or LAMP. LAMP offers medical service discounts to new and existing Doctors Hospital patients. With membership starting as low as $20 per month, LAMP benefits include fee waivers for insured patients, discounts on inpatient and outpatient services, access to free imaging services, and much more. For a full list of benefits or to sign up for LAMP, visit doctorshos.com/LAMP. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. Well, I am incredibly excited about this next segment. You know, there have been so many changes over the years. This one has been a very good and exciting one. It's certainly the way of the future. And so Bahamians can now open a Sand Dollar account on the Mobile Assist app. And here to talk with us about this, very happy to welcome back Selena Archer. She's the marketing consultant with Mobile Assist. We've got Donovan Moxie. I'm so happy to see him. I've not seen him in forever. He's the Chief Executive Officer for Mobile Assist. And Kim Woodmott, he's the project manager for digital currency implementation with the Central Bank, a power team this morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Bahamas.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you all with us. Selena, I'm going to come right to you. How does someone open a Sand Dollar account with Mobile Assist?
Well, it's really just as simple as going into your Play Store, downloading the app if you don't already have it. It's free. And then all you have to do is register. It takes like 2 seconds, and then go and create your Mobile Assist wallet. Again, super simple. If I could do it, anybody could do it. And then you just create a Sand Dollar account right in the wallet. So it doesn't even take you outside of the app. And again, my favorite word, free. It's all free.
I mean, so that sounds pretty simple. I go, if I don't have it, right? And everybody watches Bahamas and Sunrise, I should have the Mobile Assist app. Let's just put it out there. But if you don't, for some reason, you go on and you download, you get to the wallet, and right there in the wallet, you just open Sand Dollar and you've got everything set up?
You've got everything set up. We do as well, like for the technically challenged, such as myself, we do have a YouTube channel that has all of the how-to videos on it as well. They range from about 30 seconds, I'd say, to maybe 45. Just with very, very simple steps on how you can get started and do transactions with Mobile Assist.
All right. And so that I would just look up Mobile Assist on YouTube and those videos would come up.
Yes, at Mobile Assist, our channel will pop up and you'll see a section called How To, and that's where I typically go. So
All right, thanks so much for that, Selena. So now, okay, I've got my Mobile Assist wallet. I might have had it already, right? I said most of our viewers have already downloaded Mobile Assist. You have the Mobile Assist wallet already. Now you want to get Sand Dollar. Donovan, let me know, why does this simplify financial transactions?
Yeah, it does, because now when you talk about being able to conduct transactions, all you need is your phone. And so one of the things that we do in Mobile Assist is we have quite a number of ways to pay or interact with merchants. And so you have the ability to use scan and pay. And so if you go to stores like Super Value or Janae's, all you simply need is your phone. You scan their QR code. It brings up what we call a pay page. You conduct a transaction and you're done. So it doesn't need to worry about carrying cash. You need to worry about carrying any sort of payment methods, if you will, even your credit cards, because everything's there on your phone. You can also do bill payments. We have event ticketing. We have money transfers, donations. And so all of these functionalities are available so that merchants and customers can transact with each other.
That's brilliant, right? Because I mean, like we think about this COVID thing and everybody says, well, you know, credit cards may be easier because they don't carry as much germs as money, but you're still touching credit card machines, which people who are like very germaphobe like me get nervous about. So this makes a lot of sense. I can just take my cell phone. I know it's on my cell phone, scan something and pay right there. Now I have a question though, Donovan. Can you transfer Sand Dollars to businesses or people even if they don't have the Mobile Assist app?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. One of the features that we have built into the Mobile Assist wallet is the ability to conduct Sand Dollar transactions from Sand Dollar account to Sand Dollar account. One of the things that the central bank required was interoperability. And so whether or not you have the Mobile Assist app or not, so long as you have a Sand Dollar account, you have that Sand Dollar account number or QR code, what I can do with the Mobile Assist app is scan your Sand Dollar QR code and actually conduct a transaction right there with you. And so you don't have to have the Mobile Assist app to do it. However, having a Mobile Assist app is much easier, because if you're a merchant, we can create your Sand Dollar account for you very, very quickly and easily. And as Selena indicated, if you're a consumer, it just takes the touch of a button and your Sand Dollar account is created within the Mobile Assist wallet.
Yeah. So again, this makes sense for consumers and merchants, right? Like business people, I've always thought receive such a benefit from joining Mobile Assist because everything's just laid out for you. It's so easy, and you guys make that so. But I also want to thank you, Mr. Martin team, for making sure that this app could be used even for those people who don't have it, right? Like that makes so much sense to make sure that Sand Dollar has that power and that strength. So talk to me some more. What is the strength of the central bank's Sand Dollar?
Well, again, it's all about making our payment systems more efficient. As Donovan pointed out, as long as you can transact in the Sand Dollar space, regardless of the mobile application that you're using, the Sand Dollar, again, is the underlying currency that operates within these digital wallets. So when you think of a digital wallet, you're not too concerned about whether or not do I have the specific digital wallet that is linked to a specific merchant. It's the fact that you're using Sand Dollar, and Sand Dollar should be globally accepted throughout the Bahamas, the length and breadth of the islands. And it's one of those things that is going to allow individuals, especially for the unbanked or underbanked, to be able to operate in a digital space. What I love about innovative companies such as Mobile Assist is that they've used what we've created and they've integrated it so well into their product that now within their application, there's so many more benefits that you can actually garner from being able to operate with the Sand Dollar rather than having to use other forms of digital transactions. So what they've done is integrated it in a way in which whereby everyone can benefit without having to ever leave that application, without having to worry about whether or not this particular merchant or that particular merchant takes any specific type of digital payment process. As long as it's the underlying Sand Dollar, there should be no barriers at all to be able to operate in that space. And that's one of the major tenets and goals of the central bank, is to make sure, again, the interoperability, that the length and breadth, every island should be able to operate in the space, and every company should be able to access Sand Dollars regardless of which merchant services they have signed up with.
Yeah, so I hear you. I love that. I think about going to some of the family islands and them not having certain technology available to you, and that it can really just limit business, right? Like these islands need money, but if things aren't happening there that facilitate that, it can be very hard. So this is exciting to know. Is Mobile Assist available, Selena, like across the length and breadth of the Bahamas yet, or is that a plan in progress?
Well, we're really excited because with the implementation of Sand Dollar and with our existing technology, we are reaching out. We've had a lot of interest from Grand Bahama. We have businesses in Exuma. And so as time goes on, we are growing our ecosystem and making it very, very easy so that everyone in the Bahamas can get Mobile Assist. For those on the Family Islands, I encourage you to go into your local merchants and your local stores and ask them why they haven't signed up for Mobile Assist.
And that makes sense to me, right? Now, one of the things you kept mentioning was the word benefit. And I can tell you, when I tried to get my sister and I get my granddad into the mobile banking space, he was not about it, right? He was just not interested in anything that had to do with digital or online, things he couldn't see, things he couldn't touch. Are there any other benefits that you want to emphasize this morning so I could convince people like Granddaddy that this makes sense, right? That this is the way that we ought to be moving?
One of the things that we recognize is you don't have to worry too much about all of the issues that come along with cash. Okay. If he's going to the food store or wherever he is about to transact, and he recognizes, well, in a lot of cases, persons may forget their wallets, but very few cases, persons forget their phone. Mm-hmm. And again, if he's there and he recognizes, oh, wait, I only have, $35, but my bill came up to $50. Mm-hmm. Your granddad can reach out to you, same phone, give you a call. Hey, I need some additional funds. And again, Sand Dollar has instantaneous settlement. So therefore, if you transfer the funds to him, it will be in his wallet as soon as you hit send. It's faster than WhatsApp, I say. Okay. So as quick as he can request that you add additional funds to his wallet so that he can conclude that transaction, that's how fast he can actually receive those funds. And so again, that's another added benefit. If your children are going on the bus and they realize they don't have sufficient funds or they need lunch money and they're already at school, and they just say, hey, Mom, Dad, I need an additional $5. You can send it instantaneously, and just like that. They don't even have to come off the line. They don't have to wait 2 seconds, and bang, just try it again, scan the QR code, we're done. So there's a lot of added benefits being able to transact in a digital space because, again, money is moving at the speed of light now.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really exciting stuff. Selena, he brought up this idea of my granddad being in the store. And so that reminds me that you guys have this thing called cash back, right? Which I loved in the US. Like I wasn't going to no ATMs when I was in college. I'd go to CVS across the street, pay my bill with my debit card, get the cash back. And now we have that service available to us. Talk to us about how that works here in Nassau.
So it is very, very simple. Again, what you do is you go to your local Super Value. And you just take out your app, you pay for your groceries, and then if you want some cash back, you literally press the button of the amount that you want on the phone, and then you just get cash back at the till. So again, very, very simple. And for your granddad, I just want to mention that Mobile Assist, again, has instantaneous transaction alerts. So he will know, he can actually look through his transaction history, and he'll know, because I know that is very important to a lot of people. Just to be able to see where the money is going. And so you also have that security on the app and that peace of mind. And like your granddad, it's taken a lot to get my mother into the digital space. She's now using the apps and, she is very, very good at it. It took us a while, but you get there.
You get there eventually. You guys also have something coming up called Digital Scratch and Win. Sound like I could get some stuff, Selena. I like to win. Talk to me about that quickly.
All right. So every day at 6 o'clock, what we've done is for persons that have created their Sand Dollar accounts and also opened up their Mobile Assist wallet, we have codes that we send out, and you could win up to $50. So what you do is when you see that alert come in, you go into the app and you answer a question or two, and then you get to swipe on the phone and see it actually scratch off, and then you get those codes, you put it into your wallet, and if you win, the money is literally put straight into your wallet.
Wow. Okay, sounds like a whole lot of fun. Before we go, Donovan, I'm going to give you the final word here. We've talked about your scratch and win, we've talked about the cash back, we talked about the Sand Dollar. So still, if people need more convincing, tell me why should people choose Mobile Assist?
You should choose Mobile Assist because when we built the platform, we're focused on small and medium-sized businesses. And so everybody recognizes, especially with COVID, that you have to be able to transact digitally. Transactions in digital space is here to stay. And we believe that we have the best possible solutions, not just for small businesses, but for consumers that want to interact with each other and make sure that they have a safe space in which to conduct these transactions.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise. So happy to have had Selena Archer, Donovan Moxley, and of course, Mr. Mott there from the Central Bank. Thanks again for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise and for your continued work in helping our country to evolve. This is really exciting stuff to be at the beginning of and knowing that it will only grow from here. So congratulations to all of you.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Thank you very much. All right,
Thank you very much.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back. Well, thank you so much for staying with us throughout what we hope was an enjoyable show for you. Of course, this brings us to the end of the program for today. A great show, and I'm just so happy to have my co-host Phil back.
Glad to be back, Star. So good to see you. Lovely as always.
Thank you, Phil. And thanks for watching this episode of Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be back with more on Monday. Make it a wonderful weekend.
Shalom.